guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I'm here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And it's time for your daily dose of Dismal Disney. Is that what we're calling it?
I guess. Someone said you should call it D4.
D4, not D23. This is D4, the daily dose of Dismal Disney. We're going to talk about the Skyliner. They're saying that it had a million people push through it, even though it was down for a week.
Well, it's possible if they count people that, tried it out and
crash test dummies and birds and
I mean
bugs.
It's completely possible, but it's I don't know.
It's PR spin.
Convenient.
It's Disney PR spin, and it was also down for a little bit yesterday. We'll talk about that, and then we're going to talk about stolen Disney merchandise. Stolen Disney merchandise. Apparently, NBA star Robin Lopez is involved in this situation. Or his name was involved in the situation with a bunch of...
No, he's involved in the situation.
Yeah, stolen Disney merchandise. He's a collector, and he's collecting stolen things unknowingly. Mm-hmm. Unknowingly, they say. Mm-hmm. So we're going to talk about that. Before we get into the video, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants here on Clownfish TV. We are not a Disney channel. We do talk a lot about Disney because they own everything. All right, so should we talk about the Buzzy situation first?
Yeah, it's all over the place, guys. This is like confusing as heck.
I don't understand fully what's going on. We read the Orlando Sentinel version of the article, and I think I got the vibe from it that they sort of just slammed an article out without really fully understanding what was going on.
I was trying to fully understand, so I did my best with my article, but it was so all over the place.
Now, Buzzy, for people who don't know, who aren't Disney Parks fans, he was at an attraction in Epcot called Cranium Command. He's an animatronic. He's a cute little guy. We have his picture pulled up right here. This little guy right here is Buzzy. Now, and he's been missing.
It's been closed since like 2007. They kind of just let him sit there all this time. So, they kind of deserve what they get. Backtrack, first of all. Last year, apparently Buzzy's clothes were the first things noticed that was missing, and then Buzzy was noticed that he was missing last summer of 2018.
I think it was 2018. No.
Yeah. So he's been sitting there all this time, and apparently they just noticed that he went missing. Well, immediately, it wasn't immediately. When they found out about it, they reported it to the police. And it was all over the internet. And everybody was like, Save Buzzy, hashtag on Twitter and stuff. And they went from his clothes being missing to then the whole animatronic was missing. It looked like his hydraulics were cut, and Buzzy, no one knew where it was. So there was speculation that Buzzy was being sent to the Disney archives, which apparently is not the case. So look at this Patrick Spikes guy, and he had that BackDoorDisney. The BackDoorDisney did like behind the scenes stuff, and we're back where they weren't, you weren't supposed to take pictures, and they were back there showing this stuff on Twitter and on YouTube, and he kept saying, no, it wasn't him. So they called him for questioning, and we talked about that in another video where they went to get his phone. They said he had to leave his phone there, and he tried to take his phone. They tackled him. So apparently he didn't get, at the time, arrested for that. But then they started looking into him, and then they found all this stolen Haunted Mansion merchandise that came up.
Yeah, we talked about that a couple weeks ago, yeah. Yeah, they said Buzzy is worth about $500,000 just by himself. They said his clothes were worth $7,000. Buzzy himself, who is still, as far as I can tell, because this article is very convoluted, as far as I can tell, Buzzy himself is still missing. They have not found him. They have his clothes. I'm guessing whoever took him probably dumped him in the river or something.
So Robin Lopez is a huge Disney fan and buys up Disney items all the time. Well, him and his one friend, who's a CPA, and that's Brett Finley? I think that's his name.
Yeah, Brett Finley, yeah.
So they were talking to this Patrick guy about buying Buzzy's clothes or buying those items, and they paid through $29,000. Now I'm confused because one minute they're saying that was through eBay, and then later on they said they saw stuff in his car, in Patrick Spike's car.
I can't tell.
So I don't know what this article. I mean, no offense, but whoever wrote this artitle doesn't know. It's all over the damn place.
Yeah, because even
it gives me a headache trying to follow it.
Even the Yahoo version of it, they basically just, they just stripped it down to the basics, where he unknowingly bought the clothes. But I'm like, you're meeting the guy in a parking lot, and he's selling stuff out of the back of his car.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, the sheriff. I want to first off say the sheriff's office issued a statement saying that they do not consider Lopez or Finley suspects in the situation. They unknowingly bought the items. Okay, that being said, if you were the big Disney fans they said you were, it was all over every blog everywhere that Buzzy's clothes was stolen, that Buzzy might be stolen, and all that stuff. Immediately, I'd be like, oh shit, this might be bad. I might have stolen merchandise. I would have been calling somebody because this could be a bad thing. And this is now coming out. So I'm not saying they didn't call. They might have called back then and gave the the information to the police because they got arrested. These guys got arrested earlier this year. The guy and his cousin.
Yeah.
So they probably did call, and let them know.
Yeah, that's what.
So I'm thinking that's what happened.
The whole thing doesn't. I mean, they're the Yahoo version of it, and this is actually coming from Yahoo Sports. I love the Durr look on his face here. They basically try to strip it down to what the main points are, but the Orlando Sentinel article is a rambling mess. I mean, there's no... I can't even tell what the hell's going on with it. I used to work for a newspaper. So it said that authorities suspected someone had sneaked in the off-limits area, stolen the items valued at $7,000 between August 1st and August 8th.
But they didn't realize it till later.
Right. So then in May, they put the warrant out for Patrick Spikes, who's Backdoor Disney. That's what caught the authorities' attention. The Sentinel reports Spikes and his cousin Blayton Taunton were hit with felony charges. They pleaded not guilty. At the time of charges in September, the Sentinel reported that, according to financial documents, 2 people had reportedly paid about $30,000 for PayPal. And
it turned out it was Lopez and Finley.
It was Lopez and Finley.
Now, they said they interviewed them. This is what they said to the Orlando Sentinel. Apparently, I think this was Finley who said this. We had a call with Patrick, Robin, and I both. The first question Robin asked was any of this stuff stolen? And Spike said, no, it's not. Of course he did.
These drugs are perfectly legal.
It's really frustrating.
Perfectly legal.
That you get scammed into these things. Funny one to say, if it's not legit, we don't want it. He said, Lopez, he's high profile. Like, I'm a CPA. I'm sorry, dude. Basketball player, professional up here, CPA down here.
I'm his friend that you've never heard of.
But,
So Buzzy himself is still missing. So they got the clothes, right?
Yes.
So Buzzy himself, who's a $500,000 animatronic, who, I love this. Disney, at one point, they had so much money, they could just leave a $500,000 animatronic sit in storage.
It's been there. It's been sitting on its platform since 2007.
Yeah, so it didn't really matter to them. So Lopez, where it gets interesting though, is he's actually going to be in the NBA Experience, I believe.
Yeah, they said Halloween night.
So yeah.
But here's what's also interesting too is they said that they thought that the clothes off of Buzzy at least were heading for Disney Archives. How come no one noticed that Disney Archives had never arrived? I'm just saying there's so many twists and turns. It makes my head hurt.
Yeah.
And how this ties into all the Haunted Mansion merchandise, which they were saying originally was the $7,000 and the $30,000. I have no idea, but they have pictures of him wearing that stuff. So they got this guy, and now they're talking at least $500,000 in missing merchandise. I'm trying to follow along, but my brain hurts because it's like insane.
Basically nobody knows exactly what's going on.
This would be a great book.
Yeah, nobody knows what's going on. So
the mystery of Buzzy.
So at the end of it, Buzzy is still missing. They found
his clothes.
They found his clothes. This basketball player is buying stuff out of this other guy's car who insists it's legit. I'm sorry, if somebody rolls up to you with a car...
But he was in a BMW, so that makes it okay.
Because it's a BMW. If it was a Volkswagen, unless it was a Lexus or something, but if it was a Volkswagen, then it wouldn't be okay.
Or a truck or something. I don't know. It's just you're buying stuff out of the back of this guy's car, but
you're buying Disney stuff out of the back of this guy's car.
I mean, is it possible?
Who the hell?
They didn't know. Yeah, it's possible because it went missing before it was announced. It was missing for a while, but it was in the fall till it got all over the news.
Yeah.
So likely it's possible he bought it without knowing. That's 100% possible. And it could be that as soon as they found out, they hurried up and let the police know, and that's because they arrested these two back in like May. So this has been going, their case against them happened. They had enough evidence back then to arrest the guy. So these guys probably, did tell him, we have this merch, you gotta do something. So I'm not saying that, I'm sure as soon as they found out, they told them. But it was just like so many red flags leading up to it.
God.
That it's like, wow.
Yeah, so we're trying to figure out what's going on. Nobody seems to know what the hell is going on, but now we have a basketball player involved.
And his friend who's a CPA.
And his friend, the CPA, who...
And apparently there's an Orlando lawyer involved, too. He didn't get named, he or she didn't get named for whatever reason, interestingly enough.
I'm sure as soon as they crack this thing open, they're going to find out there are potentially, I'm just guessing, potentially other Disney cast members involved, because somebody has to turn a blind eye while the stuff gets stolen. I think there are potentially other celebrities involved because somebody has to have deep enough pockets to buy this stuff.
There's several celebrities who are well known for being Disney, fans.
Yeah,
Now,
John Stamos.
Well, we don't know if he did any, but I'm just saying, Haunted Mansion stuff is completely feasible that you'd buy it not knowing there was a problem with it. Because a lot of times they have auctions and stuff like from the Haunted Mansion or Small World or different things like that get put up on auction and they are legitimately sold legally via Disney, and they're out there. So there are props and pieces that are 100% on the up and up out there for sale. And so, that makes it a lot harder to prove. But Buzzy was a one-of-a-kind, only existed in one place, had one outfit kind of thing,
Yeah, it's like stealing a priceless work of art. Like, who do you sell it to? Because, I mean, I don't
But I don't know if they were, because with that, if they thought it was stolen, I don't think they would have just gone through public channels like eBay and PayPal though either. So I just think they didn't know. I think they didn't know, but it is kind of like red flags galore.
Yeah, I would not be comfortable buying Disney merchandise out of the back of some guy's car.
But it's a BMW.
But it's a BMW, so you can trust them.
So there's that.
Okay, so let's talk about more Disney. Dismal Disney. Well, it's not really dismal. It's interesting. The Skyliner is up and running again. And within a week or two of it being up and running again, they've already touted 1 million riders. Mm-hmm. That doesn't math out correctly.
Well, I don't know. I'd have to have all the numbers to math it out correctly.
A lot of people are like, this doesn't math out correctly, but they did test it for like 6 months before they crashed it. I mean, I'm sorry, had
it's a mishap.
A mishap, according to
Unexpected
USA
downtime.
Unexpected downtime. This is coming from USA Today. Disney World moves on from Skyliner mishap. Touts 1 million riders. This is their catch-all for everything. Like, we had 1 million people through Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. What was that, like 2 weeks it was open and they were announcing that, and it's like, okay.
We're a success, everybody. Disney announced a new blog post on the official Disney Parks blog, the only real official true news. Mm-hmm. You can't go to those other news outlets because you can't trust them. You can't trust them. You can only trust Disney's news about Disney. So they said reportedly 1 million guests have been magically transported.
They were magically transported. Some would argue. I think some would argue with that wording. Anyway.
Indicating the company is moving on from the incident and left passengers stranded early in the month. We're going to talk about another small incident. Since opening just weeks ago, this popular state-of-the-art transportation system has offered a convenient way to get around Disney World with an extra dash of pixie dust.
Here's the butt-kissing part, yeah.
Yeah, the new cable car system stranded passengers for hours on the night of October 5th, but was up and running again by the 14th. Skyliner opened to much fanfare on the 29th. The company describes the Skyliner on its website as a grand state-of-the-art gondola system that connects Disney's Hollywood studios to Epcot and 4 Disney hotels, blah, blah.
Yeah,
On October 5th, riders were stranded when one of the Skyliner cars became stuck in the air, the company said. An incident.
It wasn't stuck in the air.
They had a pile up at the...
It was at the gondola station.
Yeah. So the company said that it was working with each guest regarding impacts to their visit. People were taken to the hospital. Disney doesn't want you to know that.
Yeah. But only one of them supposedly was in the gondola, so I don't know.
Yeah, USA Today has reached out to find out more information regarding the initial incident.
I'm sure you'll get it. I'll get it with a twist. But, so apparently this is not the only incident that's happened. No, to be fair, like the monorails are constantly having incidences, so, but they're also how old?
30 plus.
Yeah, so a couple days ago, apparently they had another incident at a loading station. An ADA vehicle, the Americans with Disabilities Act vehicle, so they're handicap accessible, apparently got stuck and it was causing some problems. People had to wait till they got it fixed, and it was, it wasn't transferring to the stations correctly. So that happened, I want to say 3 days ago.
I think it was 2 or 3 days ago. This is coming from WDW News Today. I'll put a link to that. You can check that out. So they are having minor issues with it. Now, we've heard stories that some guests have been evacuated off of the Skyliner when they do, they have a lightning storm.
Which, that makes sense.
So they're kind of dumping people off there. So I don't know. I think they're going to be watching this. We've heard that, I guess, jobs are on the line. If it happens again, they have the pile-up, but it's very interesting. Again, Disney can take a bad situation and put a magical spin on it.
Oh, yeah.
Via the official Disney Parks news blog.
No one's afraid to ride this. We have 1 million riders.
We have 1 million people ride this.
Honestly, though.
Some people love it so much they stayed on for 3 hours.
Honestly, you're probably fine to ride it. To be, I would ride it, but then I don't mind that kind of thing. So, but I hate Ferris wheels, so,
Yeah, I don't get that. But anyway, we're going to keep an eye on both situations here. Just to have an update.
I have another one for you to add to this Disney thing. So, in the purse realm, the Disney, do you want to pull it up on the...
Oh, we're talking about bootleg merchandise.
The bootleg purses. In the purse realm.
All right.
Apparently, the Disney Dooney and Burke put out a notice to watch out for counterfeit Disney Dooney bags. Because apparently... the factory, I'm assuming because they said the factories even do it. There's 2 bags. One print is this white sketch, and 2 styles of the white sketch, the letter carrier, which is like crossbody, and I think it was a satchel, are being counterfeited. But what they mean by that is the factories probably have too much stuff, and they just made more bags and they didn't sell them. They sold them out the back door instead of selling them, through Disney. So they were selling them for like $40 as opposed to the $200 Disney was selling them for.
Yeah, so they're not really counterfeit. So this is actually coming from the article, right? Mm-hmm. Because the sale of counterfeit accessories is such a big moneymaker, it's getting more and more difficult to spot the real items from the fake. Some bags are even produced in the same Chinese factories as the authentic goods without permission to do so.
Hence, it even mentions, with side-by-side comparison of the real Disney Dooney and Burke white sketch small satchel, it's hard to tell which one's fake and which one's genuine. Unfortunately, the prints look extremely similar, probably because of the same fabric, I bet. And there are currently no known obvious signs on how to spot the fakes, because they're made with the same hardware, probably the same everything. So they're basically real bags. They just didn't go through them to get the markup.
So the only way, according to the official Disney Parks blog, the only way you can know
it was not the Parks blog. It was their Disney Dooney and Burke page.
Well, I was going to say, because the only way you can trust that these are real Disney bags, according to Disney news sources, is to buy them from a Disney store at a Disney theme park.
That's what they said. Exactly what they said.
Because, otherwise you might be buying bootlegs, but they're not really bootlegs. It's just Disney's not getting their $50 cut.
Right. And I mean, no, I understand what they're saying, because you don't want to buy the fake ones, because if you buy the fake ones and they're not making their money, then they're not going to be like, well, we're not making anymore. And there goes the end of getting, those bags. But they're really expensive bags. Now, I just think it's funny, because I know for a fact things like Coach and Dooney and that are knocked off all the time. And you don't hear much about it. But they knock off one print in 2 styles, and oh my god,
it's how it starts. And then
they tell people how you can tell a difference. This is what's funny. There's no real way to tell, but buying these 2 bags from a reseller or secondhand is not advised. While counterfeit Disney Dooney and Burke can sell for $40 to $50, the real thing retails between $178 $198. So if the price is too good to be true, it probably is. All you just did was tell the knockoff people, hey, don't sell it so low. Because people will know it's fake. God. So now they're going to probably mix them in at the higher prices. Even though I went to eBay and they're going for like $400. So I don't know where they're getting these prices. I just thought it was funny. And a friend sent this over. I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, they do this a lot. I mean, it happens with toys too. You mentioned that. Like, I know some of the Transformers are actually, like the Masterpiece Transformers are virtually identical. The quote-unquote knockoffs are virtually identical down to the packaging. Of the legit release. The only difference is they don't have the little hologram on the box.
I mean, it is a problem because it does hurt these companies, and you want them to continue to stay in business, and you want them to continue to make the stuff for you. So, I mean, I'd recommend not buying bootlegs, but I just think it's funny because they're tactically the exact same bag. How are you supposed to tell the difference? The only way you can tell the difference is by buying it through them.
Yeah. Well, you gotta make sure Disney gets their cut.
I just think it's funny because it's just like, and that one print in 2 bags, and they have hundreds of Disney Dooney bag styles out there, but of all those, one print in 2 bags.
It's a huge threat. Disney needs all the money they can get. They need all the money they can get right now.
But now we have to put a statement out.
So
I just thought it was funny.
All right, so we're gonna wrap this one up.
Yeah.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, and occasional daily dose of Dismal Disney here on Clownfish TV. We'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.
Hey guys, thanks for watching Clownfish TV. Please consider supporting the channel. Go to clownfishsupport.com. That's clownfishsupport.com. And if you want to join our community, go to clownfishtalk.com. That's clownfishtalk.com. Please subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. We will talk to you next time.